Okay, it's 9:30, and welcome to Music 133. We're waiting for Professor McQuillan to log on. That being said, I have no idea if anybody's out there, so if you have any questions to get us started off with, that'd be great. Just type them into one of the replies below. Keep in mind that it takes us a minute or two to see those refreshed so before we can ask questions. And if you have a Gmail account and want to hop on, that's great too. You just hit play, play to get the video of us going. Of course, if you don't have it going, you won't hear. You won't hear me say that. But anyway, I'm going to wait for Professor McQuillan. Please feel free to type into the forum any questions you might have. And if you have a Gmail account, we can hook you up with the direct link if you are interested in participating live. Keep in mind that it takes us a minute or two to see those refreshed so before we can ask questions. And if you have a Gmail account and want to hop on, that's great too. You just hit play, play to get the video of us going. Of course, if you don't have it going, you won't hear. You won't hear me say that.
Can you hear
me? But anyway, I'm going to wait for Professor McQuillan. Please feel free to type. So Professor McQuillan is here, and hopefully he'll turn off the live feed so we don't get it doubling up. And hook you up with the direct link if you the replies below. Live. Keep in mind that it takes us a minute or two to see those refreshed so before we can ask questions. Robin, can you put your headphones in? And if you have a Gmail account and want to hop on, that's great too. You just hit play, play to get the video of us going. Robin, are you actually like playing the video from Piazza?
Yeah.
Yeah, stop that.
Okay. I was wondering why you were repeating yourself so much.
Well, I wasn't talking, but you know, so we're both here, and that's good. And we have no idea if any students out there, so we plan on just hanging out here for maybe 20 minutes or so, answering any questions, maybe a little longer if things get lively. But Robin, do you want to introduce yourself?
Yes, I'm Dr. McQuillan, aka Robin, and I'm psyched to be teaching the course, and we're just thrilled to be kind of meeting you all electronically, if not in person. And I think it's a great course. I think you're going to have a good time, and we're here to answer your questions and make you feel welcome. So I hope that you're out there watching us now, and if not, maybe watching this later.
Yeah, because all of this will be recorded, so
right.
Anyone can go back and watch the feed of this later. And judging on the quality of what we're producing here, I'm sure everyone's going to want.
It's going to be the next YouTube sensation.
We're gonna hit it big, and everyone's going to want to come listen to the music guys talk about. What are we talking about? Are we talking about anything? So
we're talking about this amazing course we're teaching.
Oh yes,
all of
which
you
one?
Are
Music 133. Woohoo!
Yes.
I'm Professor Wilcox. I've been calling myself Doc Wilcox with the silly hat. Just I don't know why. I just thought it was.
Why not?
I don't know. Doc Holiday. I don't know. I just something different, something new. Anyway, we've spent a lot of time working on this course, and it is something we hope you enjoy. And you'll get the most out of this course if you really treat it like a workshop. You know, you're getting used to sound and kind of marking sound down in specific ways, and really kind of getting used to thinking of music as something that's not abstract, but something that you can really wrap your hands around and craft like clay.
That's a great way to put it. And some of you might have experienced, well, think of reading aloud. If you're reading aloud from a book, it's kind of a different experience from just listening and looking, staring out at the sky or something. And reading music can make the music more concrete in a sense. And many of you already know this because you play instruments and all of that. But there's a kind of different kind of meaning and experience you can get out of music when you read it on the page and see what's happening in front of your eyes as well as listening.
But Professor McClellan, I prefer to listen to audiobooks. And I prefer to digest my music on a record. Oh, I showed my age. On a CD. Oh, I showed my age again. On an MP3, a digital download.
What's an MP3?
What's an MP3? How is this course going to help me? Why is the experience of interacting with music directly different than just listening to my, listening to Spotify or whatever?
I'm so glad you asked.
What do the kids use nowadays?
Well, think of
I'm
it this way.
using Google Play. I like Google Play.
Think of how important literacy is in the world in general. And people measure whole societies by the level of literacy. There must be something to the written word. There must be something important about it. I'm not saying that music and musicians who don't involve the written word of music notation, don't have value, but there's a different kind of meaning and a different kind of value that can come through, especially if you're trying to work with the music creatively. And we're going to ask you guys to do that. We're going to ask you to compose your own music, your own pieces, and present them to us both in sound and in notation. So some of you have done this before, some of you it will be completely new experience. We've done it a few semesters now, and students love it. Whether they know they love it at first or not, they end up loving it as they go along.
Yeah, and as we've said before, we don't want Mozart here. I mean, I'm not Mozart, and I have like a degree in composing and stuff. So no, we're not looking for perfection. That's not what we want at all. We just give it a try. We understand if you're just a novice and are just getting your feet wet with music. Part of it's just experiencing it. Just trying it out like you would, charcoals in art class for the first time or something, or just trying something new.
Absolutely. I would say that if I were introducing myself at a party, I'd say I'm kind of an inhibited person. I'm not like a big life of the party kind of person. I have trouble getting into new things, and so if it were me, I'd be a little nervous if I'd never composed before. But I promise you, it's not that bad. You will enjoy it. It will be interesting, and like Professor Wilcox said, Doc Wilcox, it's not something that you have to be perfect at. It's what we're looking for is engagement and seeing some sign that you gave it your all, that you had fun with it, and that you followed the rules. That's important, and that you just did something with it, that you dug in. Whatever comes out the other end, fine, as long as it follows a few simple rules we've laid out. What we're looking for is engagement.
They're just really boundaries, less.
Yeah. And
less
that's
rules.
something we
They're
both.
Just sort of to keep you from.
That's right.
Going off the rails.
Yeah, rules are actually there to help you. I mean, they're like it's almost a cliche, but creativity depends on limitations and having some guidelines or some structure to let your music flow into.
This is why Robin and I are both very creative, because we have so many limitations.
That's it.
I have limitations. Robin, limitations.
I couldn't have said it better myself.
Very creative people.
Very, very creative, very limited people.
We really enjoy ourselves too.
That's right. I'm curious if anybody's out there. Even if you don't have any specific question, maybe just shoot us a little hello on Piazza in a little follow-up discussion. Oh, look. Right as I said that, I saw something pop up. Let me see.
Oh, I need to reload.
Hey, okay, now I'm going to mispronounce your name. Strudy Rana, do I have that right? Just had a question about the first creative project. What are the specific details about making the melodies? Like, how long do they have to be, and how many melodies do we need? Good question. So it's a good question, and I need to double check the very specific rules. And what I recommend is to read them carefully. But there's simple things like how many notes you need, how many accidentals, sharps and flats you can have, things like that. One of the most common confusions. This is kind of weird for me because I don't know if you're out there actually hearing what I'm saying. So bear with me. But
go ahead and answer it straight because people can listen to it later.
Yeah. So one of the common confusions is we ask you to write the melody twice, once in treble clef, once in bass clef. And it's easy to think we want two melodies. What we want is one single solitary melody written out twice, one octave apart. So the way to think of that is, if let's say you start the first melody in the treble clef on A, start the melody again in the bass clef on A, an octave below, and then just follow out all the other notes from there, each note an octave below the one in the corresponding clef above. I hope that makes sense.
Yeah, so you're just writing one melody twice, once in bass and once in treble. And
right.
By necessity, those two melodies will end up being an octave apart. Because if you don't put them an octave apart, you're going to end up with like 50 ledger lines, and it's going to be a pain. So one melody, an octave apart, one in each clef, and the melody should be between 20 and 30 notes, which is a huge range. Pretty much we don't want it to be, 2 notes short, but we don't want it to be forever long. Other than that, it's free.
And the concept of the tonic is very important.
We don't really cover that. That's Creative Project 3.
Oh, sorry, that's coming down the pike a little later.
Yeah, just follow your heart. Yeah, I think more important on this first one, we just want you to think about what emotion might I want to be communicating, and try to capture that somehow in the notes you pick. And you'll find that you'll do a lot of things naturally to try to capture that, that emotional feeling that will come out in the melody. That's why we ask you to do that. So go ahead and give that a go.
Cool. I just got a response. Oh yeah, that makes sense. Thank you. Great. And of course, feel free to follow up anything else that occurs to you later. We're always here. Any other questions as we go forward?
Well, we have one from Victoria Carr, and yes, it's just your melody doesn't need to be within a single octave. It can spread out over an octave, but essentially we want you to write it in treble clef, and we want to write it in bass clef. If you want to do 2 octaves apart, that's fine. Whatever it feels comfortable. In other words, we just want you to place it comfortably on the bass clef and comfortably in the treble clef without having an overabundance of difficult ledger lines to deal with. Just nice and comfortable.
You might have encountered, those of you who have played instruments and so on, you've probably encountered either yourself or friends who say, oh, I just read the treble clef, or I just read the bass clef. And that's totally fine and understandable, and a lot of musicians, they only ever need to read the one clef because that's the instrument they play. But as theory students, we want you to really master everything and have the full gamut, literally low to high. By the word, that phrase, the full gamut, comes from music. It means the lowest to the highest note. And we want you to master all of that. So even if it's not going to be...
You're full of all sorts of useful information.
That's right. We're just
I'm impressed. No, it's all you. It's all you.
But so, remember that as if you're a musician and if you're not, like we're looking for breadth of knowledge here, and you may not go as deep into certain things. You may not become a bass clef aficionado, but as long as you can read it and understand it, that's what we are looking for.
Absolutely. Why don't we reintroduce ourselves?
Yeah, good idea. Let's. So you go first.
So I'm Professor Wilcox, and it's still sunny outside here. So I live in California, and I'm a composer and instructional designer. And let's pass it off to Professor McQuillan.
Yeah, I live in New York City, so I'm in your time zone, and I come down to New Brunswick sometimes. I don't know for certain, but I think most or all of you are on campus there, and so it's dark outside. Um, and I'm a composer as well. Both of us have doctoral degrees in composition, which has taken us far, and we love composing, creating music, and we also love theory and I teach composition in various capacities, and I do a few other things. Both of us are kind of doing various things with our lives, all centered around music and instruction. And
Really, it's actually all centered around trying to save for retirement and make enough
that's
to pay
right.
my rent. Yeah,
That's right.
so yes,
And many of you,
very focused on rent paying.
rent
I
paying
like
is
the
my
paying of rent.
profession. Yes.
Yes.
And many of you, I notice, it's been great seeing the meet and greet responses. And by the way, I'm sorry we're not fully keeping up with that, but we will get around to everybody.
Yeah,
We love
everyone's
seeing,
really getting on there really quick, so it's
but
great.
yeah, it's fantastic. But I was going to say, I love seeing all the different majors you guys have and all the pursuits you're pursuing, and it's impressive. I'm a little intimidated, to be honest. The stuff you guys are doing is pretty cool, and I would never even attempt something like neuroscience or something like that. So um, music theory might be
You
intimidating,
don't
but
want to do
really
any. There's no
it's an
brain
easy way
studying
out.
for you.
No brain
No
study.
deeper understanding of the brain for Professor McClellan.
No, it's if I can just get my own brain to get through each day, that's about what I ask for.
Yeah.
Um,
So why don't we cover some of the basics again? If
Good
you
idea.
want to participate in the conversation, feel free to type a question into the reply. If
Yeah,
you
don't
have
let
a
us keep babbling on too much. Like we
yeah.
want to hear from you.
If you have a Gmail account and want to hop on with us, that's also possible,
Hmm.
as long as there doesn't get to be a million people. But
Yep.
go ahead and ask your questions, whatever has concerned you, whatever is curious about. Maybe we should go through some of kind of the basic things at the
Yeah.
beginning of the semester. I mean,
Absolutely.
the assignment we gave with the course expectations, I think, uh, is new, but we did it very deliberately, and it's because we wanted people essentially to spend a little bit more regular time working through the material instead of cramming it in at the end of each unit. Because what we found is that it became increasingly difficult for students to make it. They'd always wait till that last day, and then it would be difficult. And then, there's nothing more unmotivating than leaving half of a unit's homework assignments done because you waited too long. And then that would kind of be a self-fulfilling, prophecy. You'd kind of do the same thing and the same thing. So we wanted to get people on and just working steadily because it's not hard. It's not that much homework. It's just like a language class. You just kind of have to, a couple times a week, you kind of have to do it. And especially with Unit 2, people find Unit 2 to be one of the more difficult, or if not the most difficult unit, because it's kind of singular. It deals with rhythm and beat. And even though it's got a lot in common with math, and you get kind of fractions or things that look like fractions or not exactly fractions, and it makes sense, but it's counterintuitive, and so people have some problems, and we just want to get everyone working consistently. So that course expectations video we take seriously.
Can I throw in a fun historical note here?
Oh, sure.
If you find Unit 2 difficult, it's with very good reason, because in the history of music, they figured out how to write down pitches, high and low, all that stuff, way before they figured out how to write down rhythms. It took them like a couple more 100 years before they could figure out how to capture rhythms in notation. So that's why Unit 2, in a nutshell, that's why Unit 2 is so difficult.
So in a couple hundred years,
Yeah,
all
you
of you
should be
will
all
be
caught
very
up.
good. You'll all be very good at writing down notation.
Exactly.
But for now, no,
No,
seriously.
they've done the work for you. All you have to do is catch up with all those monks and nuns from the Middle Ages who figured it.
Yes,
Yeah.
we're chasing down monks.
Carry on.
So I think we will be doing these sort of events throughout the semester just to kind of be available to people, especially as each unit progresses. I would like to, the week before Units 2, go through the material in a more deliberate fashion, just as a review and then to answer any specific questions. So really be looking out for these and let us know if these are useful for you, and kind of get your questions prepared. Right now we just want everybody kind of going and working and asking questions and knowing that we're there and available. And one aspect of the course which we haven't talked about yet, and we'll kind of wait until the end of drop period, is that we will be providing opportunities for you to share your compositions with the other students in your section, and give each other comments and up and down, well, not down votes, but up votes, and even earn some extra credit here and there, and extra credit for really good participation on the forum. So keep an eye out for that. We do like to keep things lively. We do like to provide lots of chances to pick up extra points. So, if you get a little busy at some time, it's not going to kill you to miss an assignment or two. Though it's always good to try assignments because the exams are pulled right from the assignments. In fact, the same question banks which randomize the homework assignments are used in the exams. So there's every chance if you do the homework assignment and you really get the homework, there's every chance that you'll get some of the same questions on the exam. So it's another reason to just keep up with the work regularly.
Yeah, it's very, very much a cumulative course, and very much like a language course. You have to stick with it because it builds up gradually and everything connects to everything else.
But it's totally worth it, I think. Yeah.
Oh, definitely, definitely. Yeah. I was going to add a really technical, boring, but extremely important thing, which is the gradebook problem. Yes. This is not our fault. Not that I should pass the buck, but the way eCollege is designed, the gradebook is confusing. It confuses us, so we know whereof we speak. There's a section in Course Home called Vital Grade Info. You need to be sure you're reading the correct number in the gradebook, because if you read the wrong number, you could think you're doing way better in the course than you actually are, and you could decide to skip a bunch of assignments and go on vacation, and then you'll fail the course. So please be very careful. We don't want that to happen to you.
Yeah, remember that one guy?
Oh gosh, yeah, that was terrible. That was a very, very sad story. So just
Are we making that up? I don't know.
I don't know.
I don't know.
No, there was no.
Do you remember that guy?
There have been students who have come perilously close to not doing well in the course.
Being that guy.
Being that guy. So
we have some students who almost became that story that we tell. But
that's right, exactly. Yes.
We have no story to tell.
It's all too easy to have it happen to you. And the other I think these are probably the two trickiest or most important things just to get out there, grade-wise, is that you have to complete at least 2 of the creative projects, or you cannot pass the course. Points-wise, they don't add up to a passing grade, but this is a core curriculum class and they're required for passing the course. So it's easy to be tempted to skip them and think they're peripheral and extra.
Now, Professor McQuillan, does that mean that I only have to do 2 out of the 3 of them, that only 2 out of the 3 are required?
No.
Oh, jeez.
It's a subtle difference, but you'll catch on, Doc Wilcox.
Doc.
They are all required for your grade. They all are part of your course grade. If you don't do all of them, you will not do as well in the course.
And I want to do well in the course. I do.
You do want to. I think you do.
I'm
you
a
seem
dedicated,
like a promising young lad.
I seem like I eat too many potato chips. That's what I seem like. But
well,
that's fine.
But you seem bright. You seem bright enough.
Well, that's because the sun's still out here.
All right. So just be careful.
Yes.
Read the syllabus very, very carefully, because it's a little tricky, but you'll get it.
Yeah, there's only those 2 little things. Make sure you read the grade book right. and make sure you do at least 2 of the assignments or you won't pass the course, 2 of the creative projects. But again, don't worry about it. Just give it a try. Even if they're bad, you just do them, and we just want you to give it a go.
This is not something where the failure rate even exists. I mean, if you do the creative project, if you turn something in, you'll be fine. You will get points. You will get credit. It's not like we're going to say that was not adequate.
Yeah, I mean, what is it? A third of the grade for the creative project is simply going, I wrote about this. This is what I was trying to do. I mean, it's like nothing. It's like putting your name and saying, yeah, I did this thing, and this is what I was trying to do.
Exactly.
I mean,
exactly.
That's a third of your points right there. So.
Yeah, and so what we want is for you to jump in and just do it and engage with it, because we know that not everybody's done this before.
Okay, so final thoughts. Is there
yes.
anything we absolutely need to make sure that people get?
Use Firefox. Firefox browser.
Chrome tends to work pretty well too, but Firefox is the only one that eCollege has officially endorsed.
Yes, that's the other horror story that may or may not have actually happened, but students, not getting through half their exam, and then Internet Explorer or whatever crashes out on them, and they lose a bunch of time and a bunch of points. So this is an online course, and we have to grapple with these online tools.
Professor McQuillan, if I have a technical issue, does that mean that I'm just going to do bad on the test?
No, because we're nice people, and if you have an actual technical breakdown, talk to us, and we will make it all okay. But that does not mean that you wait until 11 p.m. to start your assignment, because if we kind of get the inkling that that's what happened, we're very, very nice people, but we're not going to be as happy with you.
But how will you know if I wait till 11 p.m.?
Well, we have our ways. We have little gremlins in the.
Actually, we have is tracking software.
to be more specific,
so
yes.
We know exactly when you're on and when you're not on, and
it's a little bit of a Big Brother situation, at Novel 1984. Yeah,
but we don't tend to do that sort of thing. But
we don't just go on and sort of peruse your when you logged in just to pass the time.
No, but if we see that you're getting a little behind, we might give you a little poke. But
exactly,
a friendly tap.
That's right.
So, there was something else, but I don't remember what it is. So clearly, not as important.
And I'm not seeing any more questions.
Yes, but thank you to Victoria,
yes,
Ruthie, and Anna for coming and joining us. It's much appreciated. If there's something you think about later that you want to ask, please feel free to type it below, and we will respond.
Yeah, I want to underline our availability and presence. It's as you're already experiencing, an online course is not immediately as personal as a live course, but we make every effort to be present, be personal, be here for you. So never think that we're off, that we're some kind of abstraction floating in the sky. We're real people. We're here. We're thinking about you. We're trying to make a good course for you. We want to if you're confused, if you have a comment, question, anything, just shoot it to us, and we will get back to you.
Yeah, and one thing to remember is that Robin and I have we have many jobs, and we have many responsibilities. And we understand that the vast majority of people who take this course aren't intending to have a career in music and generally have a lot on their plates. So if you're having trouble with something about the schedule, if you're having a crisis with your family, just talk to us. We're totally available. We're totally understanding, and we want to make this as enjoyable for you as possible, because it's an awesome course and a very interesting subject, and something you'll probably never get a chance in your life potentially again to touch. So a little exposure can go a long way.
Yeah, and it's easy
Something
to.
my doctor said to me once, but again,
And
a story that we don't talk about.
exactly. But I was going to
Little
say,
exposure.
music is a joyful thing, and you might find at times this course feels very technical, but that's necessary, but it leads to glorious things, and remember that. And many of you, if not all of you, are music listeners and music lovers, and I encourage you to constantly go back to what the music that you already know and love, and connect what you're learning back to that, and try to
Yep.
try to see how the concepts apply in the sounds that you already know, because that's the best way for the knowledge to sink in, and also for it to mean something to you. So
And if you have an old instrument that you used to play, pull it out
yeah,
and see if you can use it while you're looking at the lessons. It'll make a big
absolutely.
difference. Or go out and buy yourself a recorder
Yep.
and give it a go. Try to make sounds, because the more sounds you make, the more this will all stick. More it'll make
Yeah.
sense, and the more you'll enjoy it. More it'll seem less like a chore.
Yeah. Go to the piano in your dorm
Oh,
common room if you have one, and plunk away and annoy your roommates, and you know
yeah.
try out all the exercises. They'll thank you later.
Yes. Everybody's good for exercise.
Yeah.
No, no. Okay, so this is Professor Wilcox signing off. Again, thanks for all those who attended live or listened later.
hmm And signing off here in New York City. Cheers to everybody.
Okay, thank you. All right, talk to you all later.
All right. Good night.